Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video I'm going to be going over the dual soul karma. It's a karma that relies on quick attacks and slashing flashy moves to basically slaughter your opponents. And this video is already demonetized, that's beyond the point. So, this is a paid karma, but it's probably going to become free once the next karma comes out, just like Staff and Fist are right now. But that's been the point. Right, let's get into skill review. So, the basic skills of the dual soul karma are Destiny's Restraints, Rend, and Wolffang. These are the skills that come with the karma once you buy it. And of course there's the unique karma Crystal Massacre, which is basically your ultimate skill. This comes with it as well once you buy the karma. Also, there's this passive skill. I'm not going to get into passive too much, I might as well explain them here. You get these by leveling up your karma. The first passive that comes within the best passive is Enhanced Physique, Strength and Agility by 10%, Frenzy, and Persistent Chase. All these two are not that useful. They're pretty much right, because if you run against somebody that's using their 10% increase and you're not, you're basically going to lose, because they're going to be doing 10% more damage, they're going to be taking 10% damage less. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, these are the skills that it comes with. And you can get another 3 skills. You can get Demon Mode, Critical Slash, and Spinning Strike with the unique Karma Crystal Soul Blade from Kien, which is your chaser hero NPC guy that you farm rep with. And these are, well, we're gonna get into the skill clips shortly. So yeah, this is a brief overview of the skills. Now we're gonna go into detail. Your first skill, you basically hit your enemy really quickly, and after you're done, just throw your swords at them just because you can. With Rend, you can slow your enemy and can make them bleed for a bit. Wolffang launches 2 shockwave projectiles that just deal damage. Your default unique karma crystal is named Massacre, and basically after a pretty long wind up, you unleash a spinning tornado of death that follows an enemy, dealing damage and staggering them from quite a bit. With Critical Slash, you leap to your enemy's location, doing 2 spin attacks and dealing damage. Demon Mode allows you to enter stealth, making you invisible to the enemies. Movement will not break your invisibility, but attacking will. Also, if you get too close to the enemies, they will be able to see where you are. With Spin Strike, you do 2 quick attacks, breaking your enemy's stance and dealing damage. Soul Blade is your second unique karma crystal, and basically what it does is it summons these blades hovering around you, and with each basic attack you deal extra damage, and every few basic attacks you're gonna have spinning swords spinning and killing your opponent. Alright, the first of the 2 builds that we're gonna be looking into this video is the stealth build, which revolves around Demon Mode. This build is basically a one-shot build, revolving around the shift-click, right-click combo that the dual soul has access to. And the gist of the entire build is that you just go next to somebody with stealth, but not too close because that will reveal you. You use shift click, right click, you hit them with that. After that ends, you hit them with Critical Slash. After that ends, you hit them with Destiny's Restraints, and they should either be dead or about to be dead. In some cases they might turn on you and, well, one-shot you, but what can you do about that, right? As the unique karma crystal doesn't really matter in this build or in Massacre, this allows me to turn 1v2 situations into wins most of the time because of how it works. You could run Soul Blade, but that's a bit finicky in this build. As sub karma crystals, I have only 2 because I chose to go for 2-2-2 on my weapon, as you can see over there. I run Decrease Cooldown into Gain Resource. Decrease cooldown is the best one here. Gain resources doesn't really matter. And the passive skill, or the best passive skill, which is the first one. These 2 are really not worth it, as I said in the intro. Basically, if you don't run this and your opponent does, they have a really high chance of beating you, just because you lose out on 10% on 2 essential stats for your karma. And as a secondary karma, for this I like to run Dance of Wind, just because it allows me to deal some range damage. Yes, I do realize I have no defense, but that's what this is here for. This is a really good skill and can be used both defensively and offensively. Alright, now the second build here is a slightly more defensive build that revolves around controlling your opponent and just knowing when to go in. Because in this build, as you can clearly see, you have no stealth. And all of your skills are basically either ranged skills, like Wolf Fang, or skills with heavy CC, like Spinning Strike or Rend. And you also change your Nikama Crystal. Soul Blade is pretty essential for this build, because of how Soul Blade works and because of how this build will operate. This build performs much better on Conquest, especially on Conquest, and it can perform very well in Capture the Flag, but that depends if your partner in Capture the Flag actually knows to capture the flag while you CC your opponents. This almost is like a breaker-like playstyle because of how much CC you have with these three skills and your combos in general. In this case, it might actually be worth it to run this thing. Still wouldn't recommend it. Really wouldn't recommend it, but you can. Basically how this build operates is you don't run at anybody, you stay with your partner. Fuck. Alright, so the second build is gonna be kind of like a control build. Something with a bit more CC and of course less one-shot potential, because not everything can be one-shot. In this build you're gonna be running Rend, Spinning Strike and Wolfang. Basically what these three allow you to do is have crowd control for days. Rome is gonna be like a breaker, and you're gonna be taking on that playstyle of a breaker with less HP, more damage. That's the really good cool part about Dual Soul. It's really versatile. Alright, so how do you play this build? Well, first of all, you don't go off on your own like the first build, because the first build you just one-shot somebody and go wander off on your own. With this one, you stay close to your partner and you basically try to cover for them, especially if they're a mage or Dance of Wind. In those cases, you try to protect them from other one-shot dual soulers or breakers coming in to CC them. Also, another note with this build is that this build works much better on Conquest or Capture the Flag. In Deathmatch, it's really finicky to play with because you're gonna be lacking the damage that you need to one-shot somebody, and you're gonna be relying very heavily on your stamina rather than your mana. With this one, as opposed to the first build. On the first build, I should have mentioned that you rely heavily on your skills. This one, you rely on your skills but not for damage, for CC. You're gonna be relying on your basic attacks for damage, which is not ideal. Very unideal, I should say. Also, with this build, I should note that you could run Persistent Chase if you want to, and if you feel confident enough that you're gonna be able to survive below 10% HP. But disclaimer, I don't really recommend it. I've tried it, and let's just say it did not work out the way I wanted it to. Let's just keep it at that. Alright, as the unique armor crystal on this build, Soul Blade is really good because it provides this extra oomph damage that you need. Massacre can be used, but again I wouldn't recommend it, because in here, basically, how should I put this? In the first build you were using Massacre for crowd control. In this build you're using Soul Blade for damage. That's how it goes. Also, that's actually about it for this build. Oh yeah, one thing I should mention, I'm not gonna have a clip of this build because this build is really boring in action. Like compared to the first one, don't do any fancy spinning attacks or anything. You just literally CC your opponent to death, which is a playstyle and is respectable in its own. This is not easy to pull off. It's probably even harder than the first one. But still, this basically provides the damage of a Slayer with the crowd control of a Breaker in one tightly knit package. Alright, now to get into some banging combos of the Dual Armor. The first one will be shift click right click, which is this one. This combo is pretty much your bread and butter combo for a few major reasons. The first one being it goes into the one-shot build, which relies on this one as an opener. Second of all, it makes you really hard to hit because you're flying all over the place. Third of all, it's a really long combo. If you can hit the entire thing of an opponent, you'll basically have them CC'd and open up for your ally to attack them for quite a while. Alright, the second combo is going to be the backstep combo, which is this one. This one is really nice for two reasons. First of all, it goes into defensive rotation. If somebody's coming towards you and you can pull this one off, you're basically gonna CC them on your second attack. Like, see? Your second attack CCs them, and you can just run away. Then you have your jump combo, which is this. This is mostly used for range combat and if you need to finish somebody off. And then there's this. This is your right click. You hold this and you just travel a distance based on how much you hold it before. And then if you do a movement you are holding, you can pull off this. But there's a really big difference between doing this and doing the shift click right click. With shift click right click, as you can see, it's pretty much instant that you go in the air. With this, you hold it, you charge it, you fuck with it, and you're opening yourself up to being CC'd in all manners and all ways. Now, there's the multi-stab attack, which I can never pull off, but it's still a really good combo. Yep, see? One too many clicks. Nope. Let's see. I must be able to put it up on camera at least. Nope. Third time's a charm, right? Right. Not for me, apparently. What the hell? It says wait. How long am I going to wait for? I'm afraid if I wait for too long, it's just gonna cancel the combo. That was one too many clicks. Fuck this mouse. Alright. If I don't do the next one, I'm just gonna stop recording. Nope. Alright. Since apparently I can't pull that one off, I wouldn't even recommend using it. I mean, if I can't pull it off in a safe environment like this, imagine trying to pull that off under pressure while finding somebody else. It's probably gonna be worth it if you can do it, but I can't do it. So yeah, if you can do that one, props to you, honestly. One thing I want to mention is this. I don't see a lot of people doing this type of stuff, and it can be really useful to dodge basic incoming stuff. Like, it's jump and double press on any of the movement keys, and this can be a really nice way to avoid a couple of things actually, including arrow snare, arrows in general, and fireballs. Anyhow, that's gonna do it for the basic combos. In order of importance, it goes shift click right click, jump combo, and backstep combo are your three most important ones. And obviously, the number one most important one is this one. This one, anybody can pull off. Even I can pull it off, because it's basically mashing the left key. Anyhow, that's been for the combos. Later. Alright, now, as kind of a closing segment of this video, I'm gonna be giving you some tips and some things that I noticed with the Dual Karma. Mostly these are gonna be matchup tips. First of all, don't fight breakers. They will fuck you up. I've they've done it to me. My ass is a gaping hole at the moment from breakers. Fists and big sword are a menace to fight as Dorsal. Those two guys are the primary reason I like to run Dance of Wind, because this can deal with them so much easier. Don't fight breakers. That's my biggest tip I can give you. Second biggest tip. Some people will say, oh, you should run a breaker for defense. Which is a valid tip. Probably. I haven't tried it. But my tip for defense is to run a range class. This does that job beautifully. Dance of Wind can deal with pretty much any bad melee matchup for me, which is mostly the breakers, because other dual souls I'm superior. At least I like to think that way. Anyhow, this does a beautiful job. Also Diabolical Witch can do it. I haven't played that much with Diabolical Witch, but from what I did play, it did a decent job. So it comes down to preference then. Also, something else is the fact that you don't always need to be alone as Dorsal. Like, don't play the 1v1 with your opponent. Play the 2v2. Play with your guy. Unless they're useless. Then you need to play the 1v2. But that's beyond the point. Play with your teammates. This doesn't just correlate to Dorsal. It correlates to all the karmas. Play with your teammate, especially if you're playing the objective, like the conquest or capture the flag. You need to play the objective. Don't just rush in for the kills, rush for the glory. No. Just play it smart, especially with the dual soul, because the gist of dual soul is basically that, playing smart. If you get caught out, you don't have a bajillion HP like a breaker. You're pretty fucking squishy, and you are gonna fucking die. And you are gonna feel bad. So don't be that guy. Don't die. Don't feel bad. You get me? You get me. Alright. Next tip should be on weapon. Don't get fooled by a weapon. How should I put this? Don't get fooled by weapons. They're all the fucking same. Literally. All of them are the same. The only reason I have this over the rookie ones is because these look cool. But all of them have the same stats, same modification counts. Also, another thing that fooled me at the beginning was, whoa, this thing is 0 out of 6 modification counts. Well, if you look over here, where it's under the modification count, under strange icons, basically if I equip this, you see that you will need to unlock your other 2 karma crystals. What does that mean? So it has 6, but you have to mandatorily use 2 of them. That kind of sounds like 4, doesn't it? 4, like the rookie ones. So best advice I can give you, unless you really like how any of these look, or ones you get from the chest, unless you really like their looks, stick with the rookie ones. You're gonna be much better off. It's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give in this entire video. Equipment, this doesn't really matter. Use whatever the fuck you like. No, use whatever makes you look good. Because looking good is being good. Those are the parting words that I'm gonna leave you with. And yes, that kind of marks the end of this review. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you around. Bye bye.